The nightmare that never sleeps. Gotham isn't just Batman's home. It's what happens when a city eats itself alive. Imagine skyscrapers dripping with rain, streets glowing under flickering neon, and corruption seeping into every corner. This city, roughly modeled after 1930s New York, is a place where power hides behind glass towers while crime rules the alleys below. It started as a symbol of American ambition, but decades of decay, greed, and crime turned it into a breeding ground for madness. Mob bosses ran the docks, politicians sold their souls, and even the police were just another gang with badges. Then came the Freaks, Joker, Scarecrow, Two-Face, born out of Gotham's chaos like twisted reflections of its soul. One night, the city's entire power grid failed. Hospitals went dark, riots broke out, and the line between citizen and criminal vanished. Gotham became a war zone, saved only by one man dressed like a bat. But here's the truth. Gotham isn't fantasy. It's every city that ignored its own rot until it became normal. And as the smoke rises, another darker dream brews far beneath the waves. The drowned dream of freedom. Rapture was supposed to be paradise, an underwater utopia built to escape government, religion, and control. In 1946, billionaire Andrew Ryan built it deep in the Atlantic, 16,000 feet below the surface. He promised freedom, no kings, no gods, just man. But absolute freedom doesn't stay clean for long. Rapture ran on science unchecked. Genetic engineering turned citizens into addicts chasing power. Atom, a miracle substance that rewrote DNA, became currency. Families collapsed, bodies mutated, and the city's marble halls turned into haunted ruins. By New Year's Eve 1958, civil war ripped through the tunnels. Fire and electricity lit the glass corridors as the ocean pressed in from every side. Survivors hid behind masks, speaking in whispers. The dream of pure capitalism had eaten itself alive. When the flood finally came, Rapture didn't sink. It rotted, trapped forever under pressure. A warning written in salt water. Freedom turned to chaos. And on land, another empire built itself on control instead of liberty. The industry of evil. Mordor isn't a kingdom, it's a factory of suffering. Black mountains, rivers of ash, air so toxic that the sky itself looks bruised. In Tolkien's legend, this was Sauron's empire, not a land of citizens, but of slaves, bred to build and burn. Its geography was no accident. Encircled by the Ered Lithui and Eifel Duath mountains, it was a fortress made to keep light out and terror in. The land was once fertile, until Sauron's forges poisoned the soil and turned every living thing into fuel. In the War of the Ring, Mordor's armies, thousands of orcs and trolls, marched across Middle-earth like a machine. Smoke rose from Mount Doom day and night, powered by forced labor. For Sauron, domination wasn't about wealth, it was about total control. When the ring was destroyed, the land didn't just crumble, it was freed from centuries of industrial evil. Mordor is fiction, but its reflection isn't. Every empire that traded nature for power leaves behind the same black scars. And centuries later, another city would rise from those scars, one powered not by fire, but by science. The city that sold its sky, Midgar from Final Fantasy VII, is a steel planet on top of a dying world. Built by the Shinra Electric Company, it's divided into 8 massive sectors, each powered by Mako reactors that drain the planet's life energy. Above, a glowing plate holds the wealthy. Below, the slums rot in perpetual darkness. This city runs on stolen life, literally. Shinra harvested energy from the planet's core, selling it as electricity while the surface cracked and died. Pollution turned rivers black, and the air shimmered with heat and toxins. The poor lived beneath steel ceilings that blocked out the sun. Then came Avalanche, eco-terrorists trying to stop the bleeding. Their attacks shattered reactors, sparking chaos. Shinra retaliated by dropping an entire section of the city onto the slums, killing thousands in minutes. Progress buried compassion. Midgar is a warning disguised as fiction. What happens when a civilization builds itself on extraction, not balance? The sky turns fake, the people turn desperate, and rebellion becomes the only air left to breathe. Next up, a capital city that burned from its own greed. Power built on ashes. King's Landing was the crown jewel of Westeros. 700,000 people packed into sun-baked stone, all orbiting one spiked throne. But the closer you got to power, the dirtier everything became. Built on the coast, the city stank of the sea, sweat, and rot. Gold cloaks kept order, but the real power lived in whispers and daggers. Generations of rulers bled the city dry, each war, each rebellion, another step closer to collapse. Then came the fire. During Daenerys Targaryen's assault, dragon flames erased the city in minutes. Civilians burned, bells rang in surrender, and yet the sky stayed on fire. By the time the smoke cleared, the Iron Throne, the symbol of everything, was melted into nothing. King's Landing was more than a city. It was every capital that built its glory on bones and believed it would last forever. In the end, it proved the oldest rule of all. Power never dies peacefully. And sometimes, power doesn't die at all. It just festers in silence. The town that mirrors hell. Silent Hill looks normal. Fog, quiet streets, an abandoned amusement park. But it's not a town. It's a mirror. It shows you everything you fear, everything you've buried, and it never lets you leave. The town's origin ties to a 17th century cult that worshipped a dark god. Centuries later, coal fires burned underground, filling the place with poisonous smoke. The real inspiration? Centralia, Pennsylvania, an actual mining town evacuated in the 1980s when its coal veins caught fire and never went out. Visitors in the games see their guilt turned into monsters. Nurses with twisted faces, walls pulsing like veins, each horror shaped by the mind of whoever enters. There are no heroes here, just people trying to escape themselves. One night a siren blares and the world peels away, steel, blood, and rust replacing reality. You can't outrun it. You can only confront it. Silent Hill is fiction, but guilt, trauma, and decay? Those are real, and in the future, entire cities might embody them. Justice Gone Mad. Stretching from Boston to Washington, D.C., megacity. One covers 800 kilometers of pure dystopia. Over 400 million people crammed into megablocks, skyscrapers the size of small towns. Outside, radioactive wastelands. Inside, chaos barely held together by one thing: the judges. They are police, jury, and executioner, men and women trained to enforce the law instantly. Crime never sleeps here, neither do they. In a single day, thousands of murders, riots, and cybercrimes erupt. Judge Dredd walks the streets like a storm in armor, dispensing punishment in seconds. It all started after global wars turned much of Earth into deserts. Nations collapsed, and cities became fortresses. Order had to be absolute. But in chasing control, Megacity 1 lost what it meant to be human. When your justice has no mercy, your society stops breathing. And as people turn to machines and implants for survival, we step closer to the final dark city, one that might still come true. The future we were warned about. Night City, 2077. Neon, noise, and nightmares. Skyscrapers taller than morality. A place where tech giants rule, gangs own the streets, and everyone's body is up for modification. It's California reborn as a corporate war zone. The city was founded by billionaire Richard Knight in 1994 as a utopia for business, no taxes, no limits. By 2020, it became a battleground between megacorps and mercenaries. Streets filled with chrome and blood. People replaced limbs for profit. Cyberware blurred the line between human and machine until identity itself became optional. In 2023, the Arasaka Tower exploded, a nuclear blast right in the city's heart. Instead of rebuilding, the city adapted. It didn't die. It evolved, colder, faster, hungrier. Every light hides a crime. Every dream comes with a cost. Night City isn't the future. It's the mirror of our present, where freedom, greed, and tech all crash together. And if fiction reflects us, then maybe the darkest cities were never imaginary.